everyone, welcome to Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles live tonight. I don't know how many of you are actually going to have started joining us now straight away, but start giving us a wave, let us know that you're here. As you know, there's a 30-second delay, so when you start liking us and commenting, we can't see those for nearly 30 seconds, so if I don't respond straight away, don't worry. So what I'm going to do tonight, because it's a new year, 2018, when we started our Facebook Lives is nearly 12 months ago. John and I went live on the 13th of February 2017, and obviously we've been building up our followers, and quite a lot of you have missed things. Some of you have actually gone back and had a look at things, but there's always new followers all the time. One of the things that's created a sensation and it's gone viral is the Russian piping tips. Now, my regular followers will know that we only sell the genuine Russian piping tips. The reason they're called Russian piping tips is that the actual designer is from Russia, which is Alexander Lebedev, and I partnered with him in selling his designs and our own designs, which my daughter Laura designed as well. Unfortunately, life is life, and everybody, unfortunately there's people out there that do copies, and there's sellers out there who do copies. We have registered our designs for Europe, and we are patent pending in the USA. I didn't realise that when you go patent pending in the USA exactly how long it's taken, and we're nearly up to 2 years, which is driving me insane. But we should get our patent very soon. Have we registered all the designs? No, we haven't. We've registered 49 because there comes a point down to expense and everything else. There's just really no point in register them all. And I think now you'll find that there's Russian piping tips, and that basically companies now are stamping anything on them in the hope that they will work. So you'll start seeing I love you on them, and pussycats and dolls and dresses and all sorts of things. You know what? I'm not even going to comment on them. Buy them, tell me what you think, and if they work, great, and if they don't work, fine. But the genuine Russian piping tips was all about making flowers. That's what they were about. Roses and tulips. Tulip is the name of the company in Russia. Okay, and so basically they're all different designs, and on the side of the nozzle, our nozzles, you will see that there is, can we go to this camera, is this the one? Yeah, so if we go to this camera here, am I in shot, John?
Yep.
Okay, you'll see that there's a name Tulip. This is Alexander's company, based in Russia. That's the name of his company, Tulip. So all the ones that are flowers, it doesn't mean that that one is a tulip. Basically, that's the company name. And this one is actually called Fantasia. And then on the other side, we have our company name, which is Nifty Nozzles, and the number, so you can identify what you've got in your box. And then if there's other nozzles that you want to add to your collection, then you can just go on our website and think, right, I've got that one, I want this one. So if we go back to that camera then, John. So at the moment, all our nozzles are in the sale, okay? Our sale finishes this weekend. So if you want nozzles, you want icing sugars, you want to go to the clearance box, please get over there and make sure you buy everything by, what day are we finishing, John?
Sunday. Sunday
night, midnight, I do believe. So next Monday when we come live, there'll be no sale. Now if you go to the clearance box, it's very interesting over there, because John and I are having a complete revamp of our website, and we want to bring in a load of new products for you guys, and therefore we are getting rid of a load of products. So we've actually put loads of products on sale, loads of products in the clearance box, and in fact it's called the clearance cupboard, and go and grab yourself a bargain because there's plenty there. Okay, so let's talk about the Russian piping tips. The biggest problem that everybody has is their buttercream, and buttercream is different worldwide. In fairness, the best thing to use for the Russian piping tips is Swiss meringue buttercream. That is the best. If you can make Swiss meringue buttercream, then you're laughing. That really is the best product to use for it. And the flowers come off nice and peaky and they're lovely. I'm not very good at making Swiss meringue buttercream, and to be fair, I've actually never really used it in the nozzles, but I know Alexander did all his images with Swiss meringue buttercream and they are stunning. So I use a simple buttercream recipe. Okay, and on the simple buttercream recipe, if we're looking at it, it's 250 grams of butter and 500 grams of icing sugar. Now, for the nozzles, you need to make double that quantity. If you only make that quantity, you won't have enough. So make sure you got 500 grams of butter in your mixing bowl and a kilo of icing sugar. I always use our flavoured icing sugar, Sugar and Crumbs flavoured icing sugar, because mainly it's delicious, and I'm sure lots of you followers out there are going to start giving me the thumbs up and telling everybody else how amazing it is. You can use it full strength or dilute it. Now personally, for the Russian piping tips, I would dilute it, mainly because of the amount of buttercream you're going to put on your cake. So you don't want to do overload, so dilute it. And dilute it means if you're going to use the flavoured icing sugar and you need a kilo, use 1 bag of flavoured icing sugar, 500 grams, and 500 grams of plain icing sugar. Mix it together, so that's a kilo now. Mix it together with 500 grams of butter, okay? Blend it together and you'll get a really nice buttercream. So what I've actually done to get things started, when you ask me about butter, I always say use a supermarket's own brand butter. The reason I say that is you don't need an expensive one. So I've already got it going already because I want to save time on mixing, okay? And I've already put it in the machine, and the best thing to do is have your butter at room temperature. And again, that depends where you are around the world. You know, my daughter lives in Australia, and if she leaves it out too long, it's like liquid on her worktop, but it does need to be squeezy, okay? Not squeezy, just so you can squeeze it easily. So that's the important thing. And then you need to put it into your mixer and really mix well. And I just want to ask John and Maria something, because I can see they're doing something. Is there any problem?
No.
Wait, so when is that?
Just we've had a question that Geraldine's asked it. She prefers Italian meringue buttercream. Will it work as well?
It should do, yes. Yes, we have tried it with Italian meringue. And the best thing for the Italian meringue is the Mrs. Whippy, the Rose Twist, the Ruffles, Frilly Girl, Tutu, all those ones are fantastic. They really do make some nice ruffles with it as well, okay? Just a thought, when we do the Russian piping tips, we do get followers around the world who are keeping an eye on us, and occasionally they send some angry faces. Please ignore them, okay? I'm not really interested in silly billies from around the world, so let's just knock those on the head. Don't get distracted, don't start doing anything. They're just silly, childish people, and all I will do is I will block them afterwards. It doesn't offend me, they actually just make themselves like a load of nincompoops, really. So really, they should just watch and enjoy. At the end of the day, they've stolen our designs, and if they have to sit there and play about with my Facebook page, let them get on with it, because I find it just amusing. So have we had any of those yet?
No.
No? Well, that's a good start, isn't it? So all the rest of you followers who've been following me for a long time will know exactly what I'm talking about. So we've got the butter on here. I really give it a good whipping, and to be fair, whip the butter as much as you can to get it as white as you can. I always use unsalted butter, but sometimes people find that too sweet, so there's no harm in using half unsalted and half salted. And if you do that, that will take the sweetness away from the icing sugar. So it's down to your personal taste. But myself, I've always used unsalted. It's entirely up to you. Some people use all salted. And again, that's entirely up to you. There's no rules in this on how you make your buttercream. It's the consistency that's important. So we've whipped this, okay, and the nicest white butter to get is Lurpak or Marks and Spencer's own. If you want to really spend some money, buy Marks and Spencer's butter, because that's very, very white. If you you do want to whiten your butter, I personally never whiten it, but if you do want to whiten your butter, we do sell a product called Super White by Sugar Flare. The reason I'm going to mention this, when the girls from Queen of Hearts were here, Valerie and Christina, they use this, and they use this all the time to make their butter cream really very, very white. But I just thought I'd let you know, it's called Sugar Flare, it's by Sugar Flare, and it's called Super White, and it is on the website. Now my kitchen is very hot tonight. I know when I did my first live last year, last February the 13th, I'd got all my buttercream ready just like this, and it was hardening up in the kitchen, and as we went live I was having a complete meltdown because it was just going stiffer and stiffer and stiffer, and I was having to roll it round on the radiator in the other kitchen. So hopefully I don't have to do that tonight. So what I'm going to do now is I've only done a small batch because I've actually done 2 kilos of buttercream tonight. So I'm just going to whack this one in because I may need some more. So I'm just going to put in 250 grams of butter because that's all I have left at room temperature. Normally I put in 500 grams, and I'm going to put in 500 grams of icing sugar. Okay, and in this case we are using, I've been using tonight our bulk bag icing sugar of Pina Colada. If anybody's asking me, the kitchen smells amazing. Pina Colada is a blend of pineapple and coconut, and it's amazing. It just takes you back on your holidays. So we're using that one out the bulk bags. The bulk bags are still on sale again till midnight. All the sugars are. So let me just get this in the mixer. So I'm going to have a little bit of a noise, hopefully. I'm just going to get John to hold the stand because we put it on a new thing and I don't want it to vibrate off. So let me just get my cloth. I'm doing the age-old rule of blending without putting a tea towel over the mixer. So as much as I love my KitchenAid and all the colours that I have, the one thing I do hate is the little plastic gadget on the top of it because I find it pretty useless. So I have to use a tea towel over it. So we're just going to turn it on. We're going to give it a good mix. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to show you how to colour your buttercream, how to put your piping bag, okay, and how to practice on some biscuits or some dummy cakes. We're going to decorate a dome cake, and we're going to decorate a couple of foam cakes. Now, the reason we're decorating foam cakes is it's great for you guys if you want to practice, because you can then just scrape your colour off and put it back at your buttercream off, put it back into an airtight container and use again. For me, I'm on a diet, so it stops me eating it, which is great. And Maria can't have any. So let me just see what we're doing. Just give me a couple of more minutes. And I'm also going to show you the couplers out there, why they're pretty useless. And the reason I'm making this batch of buttercream, because I've actually got enough buttercream, is just so I can fill up those bags really. Just so you can see how useless they are. Hang on a second. If anybody's got any questions, ask them now, and John and Maria can shout them out.
Just some general comments at the moment.
Oh wait, have we done some hellos, John?
We haven't done any hellos, no. You didn't stop for hellos, but we've got 166 people have joined us.
Right, okay.
We have got lots of regulars, but we've also got quite a few newbies who've made themselves known.
Fantastic.
So welcome to everyone.
So you newbies guys, shout out that you're a newbie, shout out where you are. It's always interesting to know whether you're from the UK or if you're around the world somewhere. Right, okay. There's not nothing in here. Can you just pass me the kettle, Maria? So we have Maria in the kitchen. So for you newbies who don't know Maria, we have Maria in the kitchen. She actually gets in your way. because she does loads of little bits of filming, so she blocked everybody's view last week. So we sorted that out, but basically what happens is whatever we do tonight, Maria makes some little videos. So if you do see her bobbing around, that's exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to video at an angle that that she can make some videos with, so that we can post little 1-minute videos. So John Bonner, let's have a little shout out.
We have got quite a lot of newbies. We've got Julie.
So John's just reading off the phone now.
The feed is running up the page.
Oh, is it? Is it going fast?
We've got Tammy and Newbie in Surrey.
Hi Tammy.
We've got a question from Karen about how long you can keep the icing sugar once opened.
Yeah.
As long as you reseal it, you can keep it for
Let me tell you about
quite a while.
icing sugar. Let me just tell you about icing sugar. Icing sugar never goes out a day, okay? You can keep it 50 years, seriously. It doesn't matter how long you keep it, as long as you keep it dry. It's got to stay either in the bag sealed back up, or just put it into an airtight container. That's all you need to do. You mustn't get it wet. Obviously, if you get it wet, you've ruined it. So you don't ever need to worry about that. And that's why all our icing sugars have a best before date on. The best before date is just because we're giving people that's its most premium flavour. But in fairness, I've got flavours that we made 5 years ago when we first started, and I've opened them and they taste equally as good. And for our accreditation, we have to keep them in storage and go back and do them a test, so they're never any problem. So my icing sugar here, my mix here, I'm just going to add a little drop of water just to get it going.
I'm just going to say loads a few more then.
Go on, say loads
So
a
we've
few
got
more.
Tammy and Newbie in Surrey. We've got Lisa Jane from Newton Powys. We've got Lynn from County Durham. We've got Sarah, she's a newbie from Whaley Bridge.
Oh, that's
We've
local.
also got Heather. Heather is a newbie from Pennsylvania in the USA.
Oh, hello.
And then we've got number, we've got Cap, we've got Lindsay, we've got Palby, we've got Pauline from Runcorn, Sandra from Sleaford. So we've got lots and lots of people. We have had a question, have we got anything, is there any nozzles that are suitable for Valentine's Day and Easter? So we do have the heart, yeah?
Yeah, we do. So let me just get this in. So what I did with the buttercream, we'll come back to the heart, the Valentine's Day ones in a minute, okay? Let me just tell you, what I did is, because this is a small batch of buttercream, because I'm only doing 500 grams, my mixer wasn't quite getting the bottom of the bowl. So what I've done is I've just added 2 teaspoons full of boiling hot water, okay? Because my butter is actually soft, that's all I need to do. Like I say, in the winter when it's really cold, and to keep it nice and soft, I do add condensed milk. Now, whether you use Carnation or a branded condensed milk, it really doesn't matter. But what I do is I'll put a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of condensed milk in to give it that nice, smooth flavour consistency when the weather's really very, very cold. So just going to nearly here now. And there we go. So here we go. Let me just clean that off. And I'm going to let John shout out any more questions while I just clean this off a minute. And then we'll move over to the other camera so I can show you what this consistency looks like.
Someone said, is it evaporated milk you're using or condensed milk?
I'm using condensed milk. Definitely condensed milk, always. And it doesn't have to be this brand, it can be a supermarket owned brand. It just makes it more creamy. Now I've not put it in tonight, I brought it in because obviously I didn't realise how cold it was going to be or not going to be. But I actually don't need it tonight. The only reason I've added a bit of warm water is just to make the icing sugar a bit wet to stick to the butter, if that makes sense. Right, okay, so if we are on this camera, John, okay, are we on here? Can we see? So your buttercream needs to be a nice soft buttercream. If you do that, it will feel stiff to turn. Is that the right angle? Can they see?
Mm-hmm.
So if you try and do that, it feels stiff. You need to be able to paddle it nice and easy. That's when you know you've got it right. If you've got lots of holes, air holes in your buttercream, that means your butter was too soft. you've added too much liquid and you've overbeat it. So it really needs to be, let's just take this out of the way, see what else we've got here. So it really needs to be nice and smooth. And look how lovely and white that is. I've not actually put any whitening in the butter at all. What I've done is I've beat the living daylights out of the butter before I added the icing sugar. Okay, so that's what I've done there. Can you see that okay?
You're just a bit high.
I'm a bit high?
Yeah, there.
That's better? So do shout out if you can't see. So I've just, you can see it's nice and smooth. And look how easy it is to paddle. There's no force on there whatsoever. Okay, if you have to force it, it's too hard. This should be squeezable for like when you're doing your rose swirls. So let me just pick that up there. Right, okay. Let's get that there. Right, as you can see, I've already made some bags up. So we're going back to here. So as you can see here, I don't know whether you can actually see on here, I've actually made some bags up of colours. I've already made some colours. And the colours tonight that we're using is the Colour Splash range, okay? And in the Colour Splash range, we're using pink. I've got these on offer at the moment. These are gels. They're on offer, and we normally sell them at $1.65, which is very cheap. I've got them on offer at the moment at $1.45, and I don't think anybody can match me at the moment. So grab these while you can. And these are the 5 colours that I'm using tonight. So I'm using pink, pistachio, pale pink, burgundy, and violet. Now, my tip to you when you're using the colours, don't get giddy. Can we go back over there? Don't get giddy. I've done it myself. I've been in the kitchen and I've made my buttercream, I've made a kilo, and then I've gone and divided it in my bowls, and I've got out every colour, because there's 29 colours in the Colour Splash range. I've tried to use maybe 10 or 12 colours all in one go, and all that happens is that you end up getting in a mess. So decide what your colour scheme is going to be and stick with that, and make some variants of it. Honestly, you'll make some nice variants. So I'm just going to take my cloths off my pre-made that I was making busily before. Okay, so we've made a light pink, and what we did is we made actually a darker pink. You'll see that we made a darker pink version. You just see it around the edge. And when I filled this bag and this bag, I then added more white and made it a lighter pink. So that makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, I made just a baby pink. So this is, I call it baby pink, it's actually pale pink. We've made a burgundy. And the burgundy that we made originally was the dark one, which is very much the same colour as what's on the packet. So we made a dark one. And then I just added a bit more white and toned it down a little bit. Then for the violet, we made violet, as you can see. And then we added some more white. And I've not blended this one in, actually. All I've done is I've left it so it's got that marbling effect. So it's a pale violet, because, you know, we're going to use that one soon. So let's put that over there. And then I've used pistachio today for the leaves. I didn't want a dark leaf. I want to make this really nice, bright and fun. So we've used the pistachio colouring for the leaves. So let's get started, and let me just tell you what we've done so far. So let's move a few things out of the way. So I've got a couple of bags with no nozzles in, those 2. And that's quite important, because we want to talk about the coupler and why I don't sell these rubbishy couplers. So I've actually put the colours in those. This is for my berries, and this is, should we go to that one? Can you see? So this one is the Wilton 5 round, and this is going to be the top of my berries. So when we decorate this dome cake after, or when I do the little cupcake bouquet, this will be the top of the berry. You'll understand it'll all pull together. Then we will have, we're right? Then we're going to use the Wilton 10 round. Okay, so I'll put the full colour in that one.
I just had a question about, do we sell the colours as a whole, or all separate? So
we sell them as a whole, and they're on offer at the moment. I don't know if Maria put the link to the Colour Splash tonight, but I do know there'll be people watching tonight who will put that link up for you, or if you message me after tonight's session, I can send the link for you. We're also going to use the 224, am I in the right angle there? We're going to use the 224 drop flower for infilling. And you'll see that I've got a damp cloth on the table here. The reason I've got the damp cloth is because obviously I prepared this before we came live, and I don't want my nozzle, my buttercream drying up, because if you leave them out, they start to dry up and go hard. This one here I've actually popped in the bag, and this is a rose called Beauty, I do believe it is. Let me just look at the number, see if I can see the number. It's not Beauty, what's 111? Is it Romance Rose?
No.
No. What is it? Can't remember. Anyhow, it's the 111. I can't remember the name. I've got so many rose ones. So, which camera am I on? This one? Oh, because I was showing them the nozzles in that one. It's great now here in the action.
You're too high.
Am I too high, am I? There? Okay. So we're going to use the rose now. I've actually put the nozzle in the bag there for this one. So we've got that one there. And then, like I say, I've got 2 bags without nozzles. I'm going to show you what to do with these for those people who want a coupler. Normally, I would put a nozzle straight in the bag and use that. But so many people have asked me about a coupler that I thought tonight I'll go over that. And the nozzles that we're going to use tonight, we're going to use Fantasia. Okay, they all work exactly the same. We're going to use Marigold. We're going to use the Mini Mrs. Whippy. And we're going to use 2 of the baby nozzles. Now the baby nozzles, mini nozzles, we sell them in sets of 9, okay? And they're on the website as a complete set. We're going to use the Wilton 352 leaf, the Wilton 104 petal nozzle, and what else have I got in here? We're going to use the Jasmine, okay? So those are the nozzles that we're going to use. So let's get started then. So, first of all...
111 is the ruby nozzle.
Oh, it's the ruby, right, that's okay. So the 111, guys, is the ruby. So you can take me back over there now, John, if you want to. Yep, okay then. So, let's start backing up. Let's start talking about the nozzles. So, couplers. Now, the reason why I don't sell these couplers is that I only believe in selling small piping bags. So small piping bags, because I think a handful is more than enough. When you've got those big blue piping bags, they're too much, they're over your arm, you're losing half if you haven't fastened them properly, you're losing half of it and you really don't have control. So I like to just use the small piping bags. These couplers here that are for sale, people have asked me, will I sell them? And so many of you are going to agree exactly what I say now, you know, how you can put one of these together. So what I am going to do is, I'm just going to pull it apart. So to use this nozzle, it comes in 3 parts. And what they've done is, when they sell it you, they Photoshop some nice colours on it, so it all looks good. And you guys all believe it. So personally, what I'm trying to do is advise you, don't waste your money buying this. If you were here privately, I would have a word, but as I'm live, don't buy this silly little gadget. So anybody who knows me knows what choice word I might say. Oh, that goes into my buttercream. So this is how you would buy it, okay? And then we're going to open it up. We get our dishcloth. Open it up and let's fill it up with buttercream, just so that you can see how this works. So we're going to, I'm going to put a bit in, because no point wasting all the stuff on this. So let's put some white in. So we're going to just put a little bit in, and I'll have to squeeze it out of the bag afterwards. Let's just put that in first. So that's one done. And then another bag down here. Put this purple colour in. So we've only got a small amount in each one. And this is going to be a handful to hold. Okay, and we have another one. Can't see you piping many flowers by the time you've got this lot together. But here we go. Can you see me okay on that? Maria? Yeah, good. And while I am sort of muttering away, if John and Maria see any questions that they feel that they should shout out, go ahead. So, here's our 3 bags together. Then, who's had a go at one of these? Come on, one of you lot. You've all been buying these Chinese rubbishy things. So you've got to try and get them all together. And I think I've lost a bit of it. So I think you've got to try and get it all together. And you pop your nozzle on there. And then you've got to try. Has anybody bought one of these and succeeded?
No, quite a few people have bought them. I'm not sure anybody has succeeded.
Well. So what I'm going to do is, because I can't do it in there, let's see if I put it all in one bag. So we're now on our 4th bag.
Let's move on.
No, I've got to prove a point, John, because this is a problem when you get copy sellers, and you know, a lot of you know what, you can buy cheap, and sometimes you can pick up some good quality copies, but you know, buy cheap, buy twice. So let's try and put them all in this bag here now. And I just want to make a point about it really, that on our website, everybody who follows me knows I will only sell them something I believe in. And I may as well get this issue out of the way, because I get asked time and time again, do we do a coupler? I say no, and I'm trying to explain why. And then everybody goes off and buys a coupler and learns the hard way. So I can't even do that, can I? Look, let's try and cut these bags. This is going to be, it's going to take me half an hour to sort this out. So have we had anybody who's admitted to buying one of these yet?
Yes, we've had quite a few.
And have they succeeded with them?
No, that's what I said. No one, don't think anybody has succeeded.
Right. So I think we're proving a point that, to be fair, these copy sellers out there are selling you a load of rubbish. So let's try and get that on there now. At least it holds a bit better in there. So we'll try, oh, I've got to get my nozzle on first, sorry. Then we've got to try and get this on, which you won't fasten. So it won't fasten anyhow. And then somehow you've got to try and squeeze that out of there. So I think I've got my point across. It's a load of rubbish. Don't waste your time buying one. I'm going to show you another way to use the Russian piping tips without investing with these copy sellers selling you a pile of rubbish. Don't waste your money, okay? So I think we've agreed that's a completely pointless exercise. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to decorate is we're going to decorate a dome cake, yeah? And we'll go through colouring our nozzles and our bags while we do this dome cake. Now, I don't sell the dome tins, okay? You can get these from Lakeland, and Lakeland did a sale recently, and this is the largest one. Also, I do believe that the owner of this design is Fat Didios, I think that's how you call what you call him, and he's the owner of this design. But I bought this from Lakeland, and the mix that I used in here was a 10-ounce Victoria sponge mix, okay? So a 10-ounce Victoria sponge mix. If you try and put that in the oven, okay, it's going to wobble and it's going to go lopsided, okay? So make sure that you get your small tin and you sit it on there and you make sure it's nice and level, and then pop it in the oven and bake it on a low heat 140. If you bake it too high, what will happen is it will rise and it won't cook in the middle. So bake it on nice and slow 140 and you're done. Okay, so let me just move that out of the way. So they're from Lakeland, that's a nice advertisement for them. I've cut this in half. So I'm just going to put some lemon curd on, because lemon curd is my favourite. So we're just going to put some lemon curd on. I'm only going to put jam on. Before you say anything, is this cake straight? No, it's not. It doesn't matter. Why have I not crumb coated it? Because with the Nifty Nozzles, you don't need to crumb coat and pop it in the fridge first. Your crumb coat needs to be wet when you come to use it. So I think that's the right side. Yeah, okay. So then we'll get our buttercream. We'll get our buttercream. Are we on this camera now? Should we move over to here? So we're going to get our buttercream, and all we're going to do is do a messy crumb coat. And that's the other thing about the Russian piping tips as well. It doesn't have to be neat. So you guys who don't need it lovely, you know, can't make it lovely and smooth, and I'm one of those people as well. I hate it when you have to have nice smooth sides, and you know, I'm really jealous of those people who can do it, but I can't. So you know what, just slap this stuff on. So you're going to slap your buttercream all over your cake. Now, it doesn't have to be a dome cake. It can be a square cake, a round cake, an oblong cake, a heart-shaped cake, a ball cake. You know, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your crumbs come back on your cake. Don't worry about that. It all gets hidden. All those people who've been to my classes will have seen this is what we do. So don't worry about crumbs, they can stay there. And this is what's so much fun. And it's so much fun and easy to decorate. So if somebody asks you to make a cake this afternoon, you get a phone call this morning, somebody tells you they need a cake tonight, you could have baked this morning, let it cool, and then start decorating this afternoon. That's providing they ring you in the morning. If they ring you the night before, then you're laughing because you know what your score is. So this is a great way of getting a cake out very quickly. So all I'm doing is slapping this on, and John, keep asking the questions as they come up. You guys know I can't see the questions, and sometimes the feed goes a little bit fast, and John does miss them because I'm talking or something. But don't worry, just ask again. And if you're really engrossed and enjoying what I'm saying, just give us a thumbs up. It's always nice to know that what I'm doing is well worth the effort.
Could you also use the buttercream to pipe onto a fondant covered cake?
Yes, you can. So if you've got a fondant covered cake, okay, the areas that you're going to use the nozzles, just slightly damp it down with either a clean cloth or the tip of your finger, just a tiny bit of moisture, just to give you that wetness. I've also showed you guys again, but I'll come back and do it again in a few weeks. I'll build a crescent onto the cake, and then you can see what we'll do then. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to make you a nice topsy-turvy cake and show you what we do with that, which again will be really easy. So while I'm here, who's here watched my Facebook Live on Thursday? Did you think it was well worthwhile doing a Thursday session? And who had a go at making the chocolate brownies, chocolate cupcakes, chocolate buttercream? Just wait for some responses. Right, so that's that cake covered. Did anybody have a go, John?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Where are we based for our courses? We're in Stockport in South Manchester.
I've not put any courses online at the moment because I've just not really thought about it, because I just thought nobody's really going to be interested in January. But I will be putting some courses on the website for February. They're £99 each, and anybody who's been on the course will tell you they're good value. You go home with one of these cakes, a dome cake, and 24 cupcakes. You have a great day, play with all the nozzles, and I provide you with everything for that £99. So you can see now how we've slapped on the buttercream. Yeah? Okay. So, in one of the bags, are we still on this one here, John? Right, so in one of the bags, all we're doing now is setting up the nozzles. So I'm just going to use one of them first, so you can see how this is. I'm going to use the rose one. This is a rose nozzle, and it's called Ruby. Is that right? Yep. Mm-hmm. So let's put it straight on. And this is why your buttercream needs to be wet now. So like I say, don't worry about the crumb coat. And I'm going to try and do it so that you can see at the angle. Can you see at that angle, John? Okay, so don't know what angle Maria can see. So you sit it onto the cake, you squeeze, you form a base, you stop squeezing, and you relax. Is that in camera flow? Okay. And then what we're going to do, you sit it on the base, you squeeze, you relax, and it comes off. And we're going to do that 3 times. You squeeze, come up 1 centimetre, relax. So we're just going to randomly put these around, and I wanted this as my solid colour. And you put them anywhere you want to put them. And when you know how to use the tips, you can go a bit faster. So I'm hoping that you can see what I've done quite clearly. Can you see? Maria's camera's not in the way?
No.
Okay, so that one there, and we'll just put a couple up here. Okay, so what we're going to do now, John, if we can go to this camera, we're going to use this bag here. So we're on this bag here, there's no nozzle in here. So sometimes people want to use the same colours but for different nozzles, so i.e. a coupler. So what I've done is, I've got a bag ready with the coupler in, okay? So, not with the coupler in, with the nozzle in. So there's the bag with the nozzle in. And all I'm going to do now is, I'm going to cut my bag, and I'm going to sit that in there, okay? And I'm just going to squeeze, just to get it going, because you just need to watch that this bag doesn't get too stuck inside, so that you end up trying to fight with the plastic. So you can either cut a bit wider if you want to, and I think, you know what, maybe we should just cut a bit wider. Let's just cut a bit more off. Okay. And I'm going to squeeze. And the nozzle I'm going to use here is, just let me get the colour going. So the nozzle I'm going to use here is the Sun Dancer, just the Sun Dancer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this camera now. Okay, so John's going to go back to this camera, and we're going to use the Sun Dancer. And what we're going to do then is we're going to squeeze up and off, squeeze up and off, squeeze up about 1 centimetre. So it looks quite nice, these contrasting colours. I'll put a couple there. You know what, let's put another one there. Let's go there. And you can, don't take them up too high, but don't have them too flat either. And I'll show you in that camera now what happens when you do them too flat, because I'll just show you a couple of the errors that people do. So, is this the right place, John, there? Yeah? So we're just going to have a little practice on my dummy cake. So we're going to put a crumb coat on, okay? Just let me get my rose nozzle, and I'll just show you what people do. So, is that the right angle? So, what happens is, a lot of you want to have a look at the nozzle. So you like that, you're looking at the rose, and you're dangling it, and you want to see it come out, and it comes out like this, and then you do that. Okay? And you get this funny base. So, who does that? Let me know. And then there's some of you, you dangle it, and you come up like this. And then there's some of you who form a really fat base, and you come up like this. Yeah? And there's some of you who do the stamper. Yeah? And there's some of you who do that, and then you go back down again. So those are all the mistakes. Have you got a rose? Yes, you have. But they're all the mistakes, and those, when you all call me, can you see that well enough on the camera? A bit higher. So that's when you call me and you say, look, Carol, I can't do those roses. So did you get that, or would you like me to do it again?
I think that's worth doing again.
Yeah? Okay, why, what are they saying?
Nothing.
Saying nothing.
We've had a question about how do you get the 2 colours with one around the outside.
I'm going to show you.
Right.
I'm going to show you. You get to learn everything tonight. So let's do this again now. Okay, so who's going to admit that's the type of roses that they do?
Yes, Tammy said she's done all of them.
You've done all of them. Well done, Tammy, because you're a newbie and you're owning up straight away. Yeah? Okay, which is great. So let me just get this buttercream out of the way, because I'm actually covered in the stuff at the moment. Maria's waving at me.
Dale has done that. Helen's done the same.
Right. Well, these are all the things that you need to know. So what we're going to do now is, I'm just going to show you again, just in case you missed it. So this is what everybody does. They dangle, okay? So they dangle and then they go up and down and they pull off. Or they dangle and they stop squeezing about that height, okay? And you start getting this falling away. They become the stamper. Am I in view, Maria? Just shout out if I'm not in view.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're too short. They become the stamper, okay? They do the fat base, yeah? So those are all the ones that are not good, yeah? Now I've just got a little bit of buttercream left, so I'm now going to show you how to do it. So let me get a fresh spud cupcake. I forgot to turn off the dishwasher, John. Do you want to just ping it off? Because I don't know whether they can hear that noise in the background. So we've got our rows. Always make sure that you have got a clean cloth. That's not the dishcloth. It's just one for you and your nozzles. Yeah. So here we go here. So am I in view there? Fantastic. So what you need to do is you must sit your nozzle on the cake. If you don't sit your nozzle on the cake, it won't stick to the cake. And you must put your buttercream on this, what we call the crumb coat here, on here. You must put it on fresh. I remember doing 100 cupcakes, crumb coating them all, going back to the cakes, and they were rock hard and had to do it again. So if you're going to crumb coat, do 2 or 3 at a time. I now do them all 1 at a time. I just find it easy, it builds up speed. So you sit the nozzle on the cake. If you're not sure it's sat there, let go of the bag. Very easy. And then you squeeze onto the cake. Now as you squeeze, I've not formed a fat base, you squeeze, you gently come up, you stop squeezing, and you come up. Oh, I pulled that off a bit too fast. Even I make mistakes. It's not bad though, but even I make mistakes. So you squeeze up, relax your fingers enough. My worst thing is trying to demo to you guys, and then because I'm holding it in my bag, I actually forget to let go. So that's the right way. So let's do it again. So you squeeze onto the base, up 1 centimetre, let go of your fingers, and it just snaps off. I didn't have to do anything. When I let go of my fingers, the pressure came off. So you squeeze up 1 centimetre, relax, and it just comes off. Yeah? And that's because the consistency of the buttercream's right. My bag is empty, so I do need to refill, but we'll go back to that in a minute. So do you all understand that? Did you get that?
Yep, I think everyone's got that one.
Everyone's got that one. So let's go back to our bag. So we've got another colour here now. We're going to use this one. This is the dark purple and the pink. So we have it in this bag here, and I want to use the same nozzle. So all we're going to do is we're going to slip it out. So we're going to pull the bag out, yeah, and we'll use that again later. I'm just going to put that on my plate. I'm going to squeeze the nozzle out. In fact, no, I'm going to use the same nozzle. That's what I said, wasn't it? So I'm going to cut off my thing there. I'm going to put this inside the bag, and I'm going to start to squeeze. Now, the best thing to do to get your colour is just start squeezing to get your colour straight away. Now I'm just going to put some on the bowl a minute so that I can get rid of that other design. So here we go. So this is the same nozzle. Going to clean it as well. So clean your nozzle. So this is exactly the same nozzle that we used before. All we've done is we took out the buttercream bag and we now put in the other colour. So squeeze up and off, squeeze up and off. Squeeze, up and off. Squeeze, up and off. Squeeze, up and off. So they look really nice. If you decide what colours you're using, you just keep to that theme, and then you can do all your cupcakes the same if you wanted to. So we're just squeezing, and we'll put one up there, put one up there. So if you're going to use the same nozzle, which we have done here, we've used the Sun Dancer, okay, and then there we go, we've got two different colours, and all we've done is swap the bag, yeah, swap the buttercream bag. So let me get that back there. Right, okay then, so how do we, can we go back to this camera, John? Right, so how do we make the buttercream different colours? Now there's various ways of doing it. So let me get this nozzle here. Which nozzle am I going to use? Let me just get something that I think shows the pattern nicely. So just 1 second. Right, I'm going to use the scented tulip nozzle. I'll take it out of this bag here.
I think someone's asked for the recipe for the Swiss buttercream. We can provide that afterwards.
I can provide that after, yeah. I don't know that one from memory.
It's in the Facebook post.
It's on the Facebook post. Oh, Maria's ahead of the game and she's already put it on the Facebook post. Sorry, she's too good for this job, honestly. She's ahead of the game. So, how do we put two colours?
And
So,
just had a comment pop up from Dina, who's a complete newbie, and asked if you could just show how you put the nozzles in the bag. So just you're doing
good
that.
idea. Okay, let's get the new bag then. So, like I say, use the small bags. We sell these on the
And
website.
Sarah said she's still struggling with the leaves, but no doubt you'll be doing leaves
We will be doing
as
these.
we move on.
Don't you worry about those. So we sell the small bags, 100 for £5. These are on the sale. Grab them before Sunday night. Otherwise they go back up to £9.99. So make sure you get them the half price at the moment. Okay. So Sarah. So if we go to this camera, John, are we on this one? Yeah. So it is our bag. We're going to pop our nozzle in, and you'll see that you've got this little frill here. Can you all see that clearly? Yeah? So where that frill is there, just cut so it's in line with the nozzle. Just on that little one there, so that you can see it. Can you see? You all got that, everybody? Then push your nozzle back, and then cut in a straight line across. And then your nozzle should pop out, and you'll see your nozzle just pops out a little bit. Can you see that clear enough on there? Okay, now in fairness, that's more than enough. Do not cut this bag so it's up here. Try if you can to get it as nearest to the edge as possible. Here is acceptable. If you go up here with the weight of the buttercream, putting all the pressure when you come to squeeze, it's more than likely will push your nozzle out, especially if your buttercream is too hard. Yeah, so we're happy with that one, and we're going to two-tone this one. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is two-tone it. I'm actually going to two-tone one, and I'm going to triple-tone one. So we've got Maria now coming around. So all I've done now, I like to hold it in my hand. If you don't want to hold it in your hand, you could put it into a glass jar, this bag. Sit it into a glass jar, pull this over the top, and then hold onto the jar if that's the way you prefer to do it. But I like to do it like this. So just let me get some colour. So there's some colour. So we're just going to do, I don't know how well you can see that there. Can you see that well enough, John?
Yeah, that's fine.
So the thicker the coat, the more even it is all the way around. But on this one, I only want to do a very light colour, okay? So I want it to just come out with the edges, yeah? So that's all we've done there, yeah? And then we're going to put the central colour on the inside. And I'm actually going to put white in, on the central. Just let me put a little bit more in here. So you're just holding it all the way round and you're just putting the buttercream. I'm sorry it's at a funny angle. John Maria will have to tell me if you can't see it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So we're just going to do that, and then I'm just going to go and get some white. So here's my white buttercream, and I'm just going to stick that right in the centre. Yeah. I'm just going to get a bit more. So I'm just going to stick that right in the centre. Now obviously I've left this nozzle in the bag. I'm not particularly interested in myself in swapping nozzles, using the same nozzle in the same bag. I only did this exercise before because so many people have asked me that they want to use the same nozzle with different colours. But I'm now going to use one nozzle per bag because it's the way I prefer. So just hold on a minute while I get my colour going. So we've got the colour going and we're going to do exactly the same. Can you see? Squeeze and we're off. Squeeze and we're off. Up and we're off. So you see that how I put it shaded now. So because I put it shaded now, you then get this effect. When I say shaded, I mean I haven't covered the whole of the bag solid, yeah? I've left gaps and therefore you get this effect, which is quite nice. I hope you like that. And the good thing is, like I say, when you just stick to one colour theme, you can actually blend colours from them all. We're just going to go in.
Are the bags you're using the same as the Tala small blue ones?
They're exactly the same as the Tala small blue ones, yes. But these are the 100 bag ones. We've stopped selling Tala only because these worked out better value. And because most people are using these for the Russian piping tips, they're going through a lot of bags. So I just thought it was best that we did these. And this nozzle that I'm using here is called a Scented Tulip. Do you like this design so far, guys? What do you think? What feedback are we getting, John? They're liking it? So what do you think so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to keep building up on the nozzles, making different ones. I'm going to use another large one now. I'm going to use Fantasia. Yeah, so that's that one. And the Fantasia nozzle is this one. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that into a bag that I've already got cut, just to save a bit of time. And I'm going to triple tone this one. So I've just showed you how to double tone. So let's show you how to triple tone. So what we're going to do is, in fact, no, I won't triple tone this one because what I've done here is, do you remember the lilac? I made this colour before, and this was made with the violet colour of Colour Splash range. So you can see how close in colour they are. So I made quite a bit for this one because I've used it on here and on here. And then what I did, what was left in the bowl, I've just added white, okay? And I've done it so it's marbly, okay? So I've not mixed it all in, just give it that sort of marbled effect. And what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to put some of that in this cup, yeah? So I'm going to put some of that in this cup. And then, I've done exactly the same with this pink. So I'm going to put some of this pink in and I'm just going to give it a twist. Can you see what I've done there, guys? Yeah? So let's just put a little bit more in and then let's put a bit more of the lilac in and a bit more of the pink in and a bit more of the lilac in. Yeah? and we're just going to give it a quick twist. So this is another way that you can colour. We're going to get our nozzle. Where's our nozzle? So we're going to get our Fantasia, the extra large. I'm going to fill that up. Let me get these bowls out of the way. So I hope you're enjoying tonight. How are you liking it so far, guys?
Yeah,
Let me know what you
comments,
think.
loving it, amazing how it's coming together.
Yeah, okay.
Some questions about the butter. So it's a block of butter you use rather than a soft tub, isn't it?
It is. I never use margarine, and don't use margarine for the Russian piping tips. If you are going to use margarine because you can't use butter because you're vegetarian, then you need to add double the amount of icing sugar to your margarine, because you've really got to find a way of stiffening that margarine up. So can you see now, after putting it in there, I'm now taking it out the cup and putting it in here. Okay, and this one's called Fantasia, this nozzle. So let's get that out of the way. So I only use butter all the time. So let's just sit this nozzle on here. And then it's really pretty, this Fantasia. If you haven't got Fantasia, then I suggest you buy it. It's on offer, it's in the sale. And I think this one is on sale for £3 at the moment instead of £4.99. So this one's called Fantasia. Now isn't it lovely how the colours have come out? And look how pretty that is, just by blending them. So what I've done is the original purple, I blended with a bit of white, the original pink, this pink, blended with some more white to lighten it, but I didn't blend it in so it was all one colour, and then I've mixed the two colours together, and you'll find every squeeze that I do is going to come out different. Yeah.
Kathy wants to know who does the washing up.
Well, let me tell you, it's not John.
Quite right, it's definitely not me.
It's me. I clean up afterwards. Sometimes I clean up on the night, and sometimes I clean up in the morning, depending. And you never help, do you, Maria? Maria helps me put it all back into the kitchen, but generally I do it all. So, is that Kathy who I know? Which Kathy is that?
Kathy Dance.
Oh, Kathy Dance, yes, I do. Yeah. Right, okay then, so you'll see that I've got a bit of space here now. Yeah? So let's go on and use another nozzle. And let's make another colour from the colours that we had. So one of the nozzles I haven't used this one. Now I can't remember whether this is jasmine or night jasmine. It's the 104, I think it's the night jasmine. But I'm just going to put one block colour in this one. I'm just going to put this pink in, if I'm honest, just to lighten it up, so just give me a minute. I hope I'm showing you how easy it is to use these nozzles. Yeah. And as I say, I can't comment on copies, I can only comment on our own nozzles. What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, you over there? Which camera are we on? Okay, I can only comment on our own nozzles. So the nozzle I'm using, what I will say about our own nozzles is that they are genuine food grade, okay? We have got the certificates here done by Eurofins about everything been tested. Our steel's much nicer and our laser cuts are much nicer. So this is just one colour, so we're just going to squeeze up and off, squeeze up and off, squeeze up and off. I have to say this to myself because if I say it often enough and when you come on class, it just makes you remember. So squeeze in, up and relax, squeeze in, up and relax. And There we go. And then I'm just going to fill in a couple of gaps. So which nozzles have I got here? So I've still got this one in. Let's fill in a few more of these in the bigger gaps there. One there. So then we're going to fill in now with a couple of berries. Let's see, where's that rose gone? Let's see if I can pop in a couple of roses in a few of the gaps that I just want to fill a minute. Alright, okay, so I broke that one myself. So like I say, I make mistakes as well. Okay. So this is because I'm using the end of the thing wrap because I'm too lazy to fill it up. I'm not too lazy, I just want to try and get it done if I can. Let's just, there we go.
The one before is a jasmine nozzle.
It's the jasmine, is it?
Yeah,
Good.
Laura's on helping with some questions tonight.
Which Laura? Office
Laura.
Laura.
Office Laura, yeah.
Oh, well done, Office Laura. Eh? Work that little dig ahead at you. I said to Laura, Office Laura, because we've got my Laura and Office Laura, and I said to her, hey, we could do with your help. And yeah, I was only joking in fairness, but good girl, brownie points for you. Right, okay then.
Can you just run through the buttercream recipe again?
I will run through the buttercream recipe again. Are we on this camera? Okay, buttercream recipe, simple buttercream recipe here in the UK. So our weather is basically cold all year long, and occasionally we get a nice warm day and then we get freezing days. So I just use a simple buttercream recipe. So for the Russian piping tips, you need a lot of buttercream. I've actually made 2 kilos of buttercream, okay, 1 to crumb coat the cake, and 2, not that I needed it just for this cake, just because I'm going to make some different things for you tonight. But let's just work on a kilo, so that's 500 grams of butter, okay. Now, if you want it less sweet, use 250 grams of unsalted butter and 250 grams of salted butter, and that will take the sweetness away. So people who don't like the buttercream because they think it's too sweet, do that. I personally always use unsalted butter. The butter must be room temperature. You must be able to squeeze it. I haven't got one out now, but you must be able to do that. Not that, because if you do that, it's too soft. You've got to be able to squeeze it, okay? If you can't squeeze it, it's too hard. Once you've got your butter at room temperature, you put it into the mixer and you beat the living daylights out of the butter. Okay, so you'll find it's a yellow colour. The whitest butter is Lurpak and Marks and Spencer's. They're both very, very light. They're a bit more expensive, but they're very light. But normal cheap value butter, that's all I use, because we use the flavoured icing sugars. Do you have to use the flavoured icing sugars? No, you don't. You can add flavouring, but you've got to remember when you add flavouring, you're adding liquid. And when you add liquid, you're then making your buttercream looser. Okay, so sometimes that can make your buttercream just a little bit too soggy. So you beat the living daylights out your butter, and because we've used 500 grams of butter, we now need a kilo of icing sugar. In fact, if you're going to use the flavoured icing sugar, because of how much you're going to put on your cake, what you could do is use 500 grams of flavoured icing sugar and 500 grams of plain icing sugar, and then beat it in, but beat it in so it's incorporated. Don't beat it so it's so fluffy and light and that it's got loads of bubbles in it, okay? So your buttercream should look like this when you beat it in. I don't know whether John can see there. Let me get a paddle. And have I got a clean spatula? Right. Just pass me a knife out of the drawer there, Maria. I'm so hot in this kitchen, I tell you, all the time. So John and Maria, poor souls, are freezing to death. So you should be able to mix your buttercream really easily, okay? Like that. So nice and easy. It shouldn't be runny. So when I hear people say it's got to be very firm, they're wrong. If they say it's got to be very soft, they're wrong. It's got to be of medium consistency. It's got to be so that you can squeeze it so it flows out of the tube, the piping tube, Russian nozzle tip, so it flows out with ease without you breaking off. So if it starts to snap off, it's too hard. If it doesn't snap off and it just stays attached to your bag, it's too soft. But this is the perfect consistency. Yeah. Now in the winter, apparently we're going to have a mad weather week this week, and when it gets really very cold, sometimes here in the kitchen, as much as I'm on fire, the kitchen isn't actually that warm. I would add some condensed milk, or you can add a couple of tablespoons of boiling water, but add it a little bit at a time, mix it until you get this lovely consistency. And I just don't really know how much more I can show you. Can they see that clear enough, John?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can see, look how easy my knife is going over it, and that's how it needs to be, yeah? So let's get on and do some berries. So always have some cloths around so that you can wipe your hands and everything, okay? So I've done some berries. So we've got the Wilton 10, we're going to have some purple berries with some pink tops, okay? So I think we need to be on this camera again. Yep. So I'm just going to squeeze some berries. Takes a little bit of time, guys, just be patient. So I'm just going to do these because I like to finish the cake. And all you're going to do is just, let me see if I can show you here. All we're going to do is squeeze as a ball. Yeah, so we're using the Wilton 10. They're on the website. Just going to put a couple there. And in fairness, they're nice if you can do them in clusters of 3s. So, just randomly wherever you want to put them. Put a couple up there. And all these little embellishments really do help pull your cake together. So we've got a couple of spaces up there. So we're going to have a few berries there.
Got a question, do we sell the Wilton tips in sets? We've got several different Wilton tip sets.
We do.
So if you search by brand.
The best set to buy, I've not brought it in, but the best set to buy is this set. Okay, which camera are we on? Are we on this one? The best set to buy is this set, and it's on offer at the moment, okay? It's a 55-piece set, and you get every single Wilton tip in there. You get a coupler in there for the tips. You get, I think you get 2 couplers in there. You get your oh, I don't know what you call it. What is it when you're pins? That's it. You get pins. They're only small pins, in fairness. You get those in there. And let me just have a look at this. And it's a nice little case. It's exactly that you know where everything is. Yeah. Now, see on this berry, he's got some points on. Don't worry about them. So we're just going to put those in. That one fell off. Don't worry about it. It's just my buttercream's gone a bit dry there already. Right, so then we've got the Wilton 5, which is the dark pink. We saw there, John. And then on there, what we're going to do now is we are just going to fill up our berries. Yeah. So what we're going to do, I don't know if you can see it, I want to try and make it so that my hand is not in the way. So those long ones there, we're just going to push back in. And push them back in so they're not pointy. So what do you think of this cake so far? Are you enjoying it? Has any of you learned anything from this exercise tonight? So remember, these are the genuine Russian piping tips. These are made by the original designer, Alexander. I can guarantee that every flower that you buy off every nozzle you'll get off him, you can do the design. The copies now is getting crazy, and it's getting crazy because I've booted off Amazon 5,000 to 6,000 sellers. I don't think they've had anybody fight them like I have with design rights. And I booted off 5,000 to 6,000 sellers off Amazon. The same off eBay, Pinterest, Wish. Who else do we do, Maria? eBay Wish, AliExpress,
Alibaba.
Alibaba. Albeit they're naughty Alibaba, they just knock them off for about 4 days and then put them back on again. But having said that, you know, at the end of the day, I've got to fight for mine and Alexander's designs. And if you've invested into your product and brought it to market, that's what you want to do. Okay, so then I'm going to use the drop flower. Now the drop flower is an interesting one. Okay, so let me just get a little bit of buttercream on here. I'll put green on here so that you can see the drop flower. Now the drop flower, let me just get the nozzle itself. Let's see if I've got one. So this is a Wilton 224 drop flower, and inside you'll see there's a little wire in there. That doesn't mean it's broken, that's part of it. And when you touch the top, you can feel the little point. Don't know, can you see that little point on there? Yeah? So we're going to use this, and again, it's just another little dimension to your cake just to fill in, and you squeeze and you get a little flower. So I'll just do it on here.
How much that big Wilton tip set is?
I don't know, it's on offer at the moment. I think it should be $59.99. I think it's $44.99. So you get this nice little flower. It's just like little ruffles really. It's great just for doing all over your cupcake. You just do little ruffles all over your cupcake if you wanted to. Yeah? But what we're going to do is, after I've dropped it all over my hands, that's the problem with having sponge cakes, they're light. So I'm just going to fill in a couple of the gaps here. Are they liking this, John? What's the feedback like?
Yep, no, that's very positive comments.
Yeah. Good.
How long can you keep the buttercream in the fridge?
Right, okay, the buttercream, put it in an airtight container, don't leave cling film over it. Now, if you've only added water, okay, you can keep the buttercream in the fridge for as long as the date on the packet of butter, okay? So basically, you can usually keep it in the fridge 8 to 12 weeks, usually, okay? But if you cover it with cling film, you'll find that it goes hard and crispy. And you can still eat it, but it's no good for the Russian piping tips because the crispiness leaves little hard balls and you can't squeeze it. They get clogged up in your nozzle. So, right, so now we're going to come to leaves. So I'm just going to move this out of the way a second.
What colouring are you using?
The colourings I'm using, okay, so you can use any colours that you want, but I prefer to use the Colour Splash range. And the colours that I'm using tonight, so if you want to go to the top camera, John, I'm using these. And my advice to you, whenever you're using the Russian piping tips, don't go crazy and think, you know what, I'm going to use every colour I've got because it will become your worst nightmare, okay? Pick yourself a selection of colours and then mix them together. So I've made the colours dark first, and then when I've gone back to the bowl, I've then added white and lightened them up and give them a twist. Anybody who's missed anything, okay, at the end of this session, it will be posted to our Facebook page. It'll be pinned to the top, and then what you can do, you can go and do a replay tomorrow, or Maria will have it on YouTube after 12 o'clock tomorrow, and you can watch it any time that you want. Yeah, so the colours I've used is violet, pistachio, burgundy and pink. Which camera are we on? Are we on it up here? Over here. Right, okay, so now we're going to do leaves. Now this one always gets everybody. So I've got my leaf nozzle prepared, and it's the Wilton 352. Can you see that V? Yeah, okay, so you can see that V, that's very important that you do that, okay? And what we're going to do now is, now you can use a dark green or a light green, it's entirely up to you, but I just wanted to use a light green, make it more cheerful. Can you see what I'm doing there, John? Can you see what I'm doing in this camera?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to two-tone this leaf. So we're going to put a nice thick base all the way round. I don't know what Maria's giggling at. Find out after. Eh? What's he doing?
Looking at the book.
He's looking for what? What are you looking for, John?
I'm not sure what Maria's laughing at.
So, is there any more questions? So what we're going to do is, with this green now, we're going to do a nice thick base, and I'm going to try and put as much in this bag as I can, because we are going to use a lot, and I'm going to have to show you how to make leaves as well. Personally, you don't need many leaf tips, okay? I would say if you have one leaf tip, that's definitely enough, and if you have another leaf tip, I would invest in this big giant one. Let me just go and get it a minute. So this is the Wilton 352, okay, there it is, and then we've got the big boy, or the big girl. I've actually named her the Big Mama. That's not a name, that's my name, and she is number 366, so you can see, look at that. But you know what, invest in one of those as well, because they're brilliant. So what we've done there now, so can you see when I did that colouring two-tone before, I actually did a very thin coat, but on this one I'm doing quite a thick coat. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring around the burgundy colour, and I'm going to get the burgundy and I'm going to stick it in the middle. Yeah, so let's get the burgundy there. I'm just going to stick it in the middle. It just pulls the leaves together. Okay, so let's put that in there. Now, let's get another dummy cake and show you how to decorate with the leaves. So in fact, the best thing to do is that, in fact, while I'm practicing, so let me just get this cake white in a minute.
Yeah, Jane's just suggested we could do some of the colour splash with nozzles in the bundles, yes, and Lindsay's answered, yes, we have done that, but to be fair, all that happened, we just ended up with lots and lots of different variations, and we decided not to offer that anymore.
Yeah, in fairness, we did used to do loads of bundles. What John and I had decided to do, and you know what, you try to fulfill everybody's request, and then sometimes it comes overload. So we are actually going to change things. So in the next month, we're going to change it so that you buy the colour splash only separately, but at the best price that I can do it for you, and a full colour wheel as well. So, am I on this one? And a full colour wheel as well. And what we're going to do is probably sell things separately, but the best price, so you make your saving, rather than us forcing you to buy a bundle to make that saving. And then that way you can pick and choose any colours that you want. So that's the way that we're going to go forward. And we've got a few other ideas on how we want to market our product. And that's why I say nip over to the clearance cupboard and make sure you pick yourself up a bargain. Yep. So here we go now. So I've got my cupcake. So John, are we here? Yeah. So you'll see that the leaf nozzle has this point, okay? If you use the leaf nozzle that way, with the mouth open, that is the correct way. If you lie it down, that's the incorrect way. So what I would do is, just to help you so that you know you've got it the right way, put your nozzle the right way so it's in line with that ruffle, and then you know that you're following that ruffle and your nozzle is the right way round. Just a little tip, it's not how you have to use it, but it's just handy for you to remember. So then we're going to get our cupcake, and with this nozzle there, let me see, let me come round here. So with this nozzle here, am I high enough? Okay, we're going to make a small leaf, a bigger leaf, a bigger leaf, yeah? So it's 3 size leaves just off there, and then we're going to go bigger, bigger, and even bigger, all with that one little nozzle. What do you think of that? Do you like them? So let me show you what a lot of you guys do, okay? You get your leaf and you do that. So a lot of you do that. Go on, tell me who does them. Yeah? And a lot of you do that. You do them. And you do those. Do you recognise these? So, which do you prefer, those or those? Yeah? So we'll knock that off again. And I'll just show you again how to do them. And by the time we've had a couple of practices, hopefully my colour will be running through its veins there. So here we go again. So we get the nozzle, and what we're going to do is we sit the nozzle and we form a base. You form your base and you stop and you pull off, and that's what gives you the point. So when you're doing a baby leaf like that, you're just basically forming the base, stop and pull off. So when you're forming a baby leaf, you form the base, stop and pull off. When you want to go a bit bigger, you form a base, you come up to the middle, you stop and pull off. You form a base, you come up to the middle, stop and pull off. Are you getting that? So you form a base, stop and pull off. You've got to stop when you come to that point. So you need to form a base, because if you do that scraggy thing there, it won't hold because your base isn't big enough, okay? And then they start to fall down. So you must form the base. So think of the foundations of a house, then the body, stop and pull the peak. So we're going to do a nice big base, nice big body, stop, pull off. Yeah, nice big base, big body, stop, pull off. You've got to stop to get the point. If you don't stop for the point, okay, if you don't stop and keep squeezing, it's just going to keep going on forever. So little, stop, medium, stop, bigger, stop. And then we can go in there for a really nice big one. Yeah? Have you got that, guys? Do we all know how to do leaves now? Was that clear enough on there? Close enough on there, Maria? Yeah? What do you think, guys? Yeah? Are we liking it? But I still haven't got my colour coming through yet. So, where's my pink bowl? My green bowl? Because I want to squeeze this so that the colour's coming through the centre. So let me just squeeze this a minute. It's just starting to come through now. Just give me a minute. There. Let's go back onto the sponge cake. So I like this now. You can just see a little tinge of colour. Yeah? And that's because we just put the colour in the middle of the bag. And I think it just makes it more effective. What do you think? Do you like that? So, you know, two-toning the leaves really help. So let's finish off our cake now, because it's actually the leaves that do pull it together. Over there. I'm making a right mess here. Okay, so we're here now, and then let's just start putting our leaves in. I just need to find some gaps. Let's see. And you can just put them randomly. So can you see these? Are they coming up on the camera okay, guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just put them randomly around your cake, just filling in the odd little gaps. Hope I've explained this to you well enough. Do you think my explanations are okay? Are you getting it? Is there anything you haven't got? Feel free to tell me. If there's anything you want to ask while I put all these leaves on now, feel free to ask. So what I'm going to do now is...
You just asked about the sample pots and the new flavours you placed an order this morning. Did you put a note in with your order to say that you wanted the new samples?
if you didn't put a note in, we did say last week, you have to put a note in. Now some of you have messaged me and told me you forgot, but if you didn't put a note in, you won't have got them, unfortunately. So all I'm doing now is I'm just squeezing a couple of leaves here, just to bring this together. I'm going to go down the bag. Who is that, Lindsay? Who?
Sorry, the feed has ran up. I think it was Lindsay Pearson.
All right, sorry, Lindsay.
Well, I can have a look because we've had a very busy weekend, and some of the orders from this morning are possibly not.
If she placed an order this
just
morning, yet. She could possibly be lucky that it didn't go because we've done all the weekend orders. So we're just going to come through here. So do you see what I mean about this cake, guys? If somebody rings you and says, I need an emergency cake, can you do me one? You don't need to go down into meltdown and think, how the hell am I going to make and decorate a cake? When they ring you this morning and say, I need a cake for my grandma, I need one for my mother, I need one for the golf club, or wherever it is that they need one, you could actually pull the cake together. And to be fair, I think there's more than enough on there. So what do we think of that? Are we happy with that? Are we loving it? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so sorry for all my mess. So I've done this on a dome cake. I've showed you the buttercream. I've showed you how to triple tone, double tone, marble. Got a question?
No, back here.
Oh, we're back here, right, okay. John was putting his hand up like that, I thought he was going to ask me a question. So that's the dome cake, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to make you a rose. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to make you a rose. Let me just see here, I've got buttercream all over myself. So to make a rose, I need to fill that rose tip back up. So where's my rose tip? So let's just fill this back up again. And while I'm just getting this filled back up again, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask any questions. If you want to ask anything about which nozzles I've used tonight, I've used Fantasia, okay, Scented Tulip, Sun Dancer, not Sun Dancer Cup, Sun Dancer. The rose that I've used tonight is Ruby, yeah. And what else have I used? Jasmine, yes, that's it. So let me just put this pink in here a minute and mix this together. So just to save a bit of time and so that I've got a bit of buttercream, I'm just going to use all the remnants of my buttercream. And then I'm going to show you one last way to make buttercream in cling film. Now here in the UK, not a lot of us do the cling film method, yeah, but I do know the Americans use the cling film method quite a lot. So I'm just putting some variants of colour in my bowl here. So I don't know what concoction I'm going to get here, so let's just see. Basically, I've just put burgundy and violet together. Let's see what we've got here. And I'm going to use the rest of this because when I do this rose in a minute, I know that you're all going to ask me to do it again and again, aren't they, Maria? Okay. So this rose that I'm going to do for you, so many of you have seen it, and it's great for cupcake, for wedding cakes. So you know when you give them as a gift and they want an individual cupcake for each of their guests, this is a nice one. So I think I've got enough in here now.
Jackie said she's still asking about a heart, but I think we actually do have a heart.
We do have
nozzle.
a heart,
Yep.
okay. I won't forget, but I'm going to do it last, okay, because I just want to get through the session, and if I get distracted, I've got Mrs. Whippy to use yet, I've got the mini nozzles to use yet, so don't worry. I just want to get this one done for you guys first.
Someone just asked about what's the website, so I just put up the website details.
Yeah. So the website you buy them off is sugarandcrumbs.co.uk. Okay. All the nozzles are in the sale at the moment. Grab them while you can. So I've just got my rose ready. Yeah. And then one of the tips that I'm going to use tonight, I've got the bag ready. Look at that, I'm pushing buttercream all over me. Right mucky pup by the time I finished, okay? So, one of the nozzles that I'm going to use now is the Wilton 104. So can we just come back to this camera? So the Wilton 104 is a teardrop nozzle. It's called a petal nozzle. You'll see it's got a wider end here and a thinner end at the top. You'll see that I've lined the thinner end with the seam of the bag. Now there's a reason for that. Again, when I lead it to this tells me that this is the top of the nozzle, okay? Also, I want to run my colour up this line. So I'm just going to run my colour up here. So you'll understand in a minute. So let me just get this in the bag. So what I'm doing now, I'm keeping the seam in between my thumb and finger there, yeah? And then I'm going to get the main colour, which I'm using for the rose, okay? And I'm just going to run it across the seam. Doesn't have to be neat, yeah? And we're just going to run it across the top of the seam there. So I'll just pull that bag off for you so that you can see it, what we've done there. Is that okay for the camera viewpoint, John? Mm-hmm. So you can see that the pink is all up here, which is where we want it. Yeah. Doesn't matter if there's some there, don't worry about that. And then we're going to fill this with white. Now normally I wouldn't take this out of my hand. I've only taken it out to show you, so don't you do it. Either hold it in your hand, put the seam in, okay, your main colour, and then put your white in behind it. I've just done this to show you, okay, because now it's going to be a pain actually for me to have to reopen it now, get it back into place, and I'll just go and get some white colour. My sponge cupcake cakes are going everywhere. So let me just fill this up with white. And all I'm doing is I'm just filling it with white. Okay. Let me get this bowl over here. So I'm just filling it with white and pushing it down the back of the colour. Can you see that? Yeah. So tell me guys, has it been worth it, me doing this session? Have you enjoyed it? Is there things here that you've learnt tonight? What about you newbies? Feel free to answer. Okay, so you've done that. I don't see your questions for about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to be patient and wait for them while you type them up. Right, John.
Perhaps ask the question, what's the easiest way to get into your live video, please?
The easiest way to get into the live video, you're in it if you're writing on it now. You're watching it live. If you actually wrote that comment, you're actually watching it live. So,
unless Pat's referring to how does she come and be here? I don't know.
Do you mean come here, Pat? Do you mean actually come here into the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen? Right. Okay. So there we are. Can you see that? Right, so what we're going to do now is, so you'll have to excuse all this mess, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run that now. So can you see the two colours coming out? You see that? Mm-hmm. So I've just run that so we get that outer edge. And did you see how nice it flowed? No pressure. That's how nice and soft your buttercream has to be. So when somebody tells you it needs to be firm, they're wrong. So let's get me dummy cupcake again. So sorry Pat, what you'll have to do is message me afterwards. I'll probably ask you to send over your phone number and I'll give you a call and ask what you mean, because I'm not quite sure. So we're going to put our crumb coat on our cake. Yeah, anybody else got any questions, John?
No, but lots of positive comments.
Positives, that's what we like. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, is that the right height, that angle there, Maria? Is that perfect? Good, because I can rest my hand on here then. So we're just going to sit a rose on here now, but I'm not going to put it in the centre. I'm actually just going to off-centre it. So we're going to squeeze up 1 centimetre, relax and pull off, yeah? Then we're going to get this nozzle, and remember where I said the seam is the top. So it's that's at the top, and that's what we want. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do half a semicircle. It doesn't have to be neat, okay? And you can have the shakes. I've always got the shakes. And in that half a semicircle, we are going to go over again, okay? Now, unfortunately, I have to do it and then show you what I've done because I can't get round the camera that way. But all I'm doing is I'm just doing half a semicircle all the way around. It sits on the bottom and it's there. And I'm going to go around and you'll watch this rose grow. So that's round once, okay? And then we're going to go around again.
Just had a couple of questions. Are the nozzles sold separately?
Yeah.
Yes, they're all separate on the website. If you go in under shop by brand and go to Nifty Nozzles, you will be able to find them all sold separately, and they're also in bundles as well.
So we've done a nice big fat rose there. We can leave it at that if we like, okay? So it's quite a big fat rose, this one. Or we can make it even bigger. So most of you'd be quite happy with it like that. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to extend it. And when we extend it, we're basically going, let me get my cloth. So where I was holding the nozzle like that, and you can see the shape on it. That shape is designed so that it falls out the petal, so it falls away from the centre. If you want to make it more closed cup, you tip it that way, okay? But now we're going to lie it down. So we're going to lie it down, we're going to squeeze, and we're going to go up, yeah? I'm going to squeeze, and we're going to go up. Squeeze, and up. So we're not doing a semicircle, we're starting at the bottom, and we're just going to come up. So we're going to squeeze, so you can see that. I'm going to squeeze and come up, and then the last one is going to be there, and then you've got your big rose, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a rose there, another rose there, another rose there. We're going to get our berries. I'm going to put one little berry there, one there, and we're going to put 3 little berries in there, yeah? I'm going to put the tips on for the berries, so it's all colour coordinated. So if somebody rings you, now in fairness, once I've made my cupcakes, I can decorate one of these cakes 1 minute, probably 1/2 a minute, when I get going and I'm all prepared. And then we're going to get our leaf now. I'm going to get our leaf and we're going to put the leaf in the back there. So let's just show you what we're going to do. So we're going to sit the leaf in the back. Can you see that angle there, Maria? Can you see it? We're going to sit the leaf in the back, form a nice big fat base, and we're going to come up. Can you see that? So I'll show you that way. Yeah. And then I'm just going to put another one in, and we're going to come up, and there's our second leaf. And there you go. And that's what I call a cupcake bouquet. Yeah? Do we like it? And then if we do this...
Andy just asking, can he come and visit the shop? We don't actually have a shop. We do have a warehouse. You can pop along. If you want to do a click and collect order beforehand, then obviously do so. Or you can pop along and have a look around.
Okay. Are we still on this camera?
We are.
So there you go. So if somebody rings you the night before or in the morning and says, I desperately need a cake for an event tonight, you could make this one either on a dome, on a square, on a round, and then you could also do some little cupcakes with it as well. So what do you think, guys? Yeah? Do you like it? Do you like the colours? And they're all from the Colour Splash range gels I've used. The powders are equally as good. I've put the powders on offer, they're £2 a tub, and I put them on offer at £1.75. So grab them while you can. This sale, once this sale finishes, this sale is not going to happen again till probably about October, November again. I don't think we'll be having a sale again. I don't know, John says we might, but we might not.
No, definitely not for quite a few months.
Yeah, definitely for not a few months. So if you want to stock up now, and I hope you're all liking that. Liking that? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm just going to show you how to do the cling film method. So I'm actually going to do it on the turntable, simply because I think, can they see that height of the turntable, John Ray? Can they see the turntable if I put that there?
Yep.
Right, okay. I put it there. Is it close enough?
We're on here now, yeah?
No, I want to be on there. Is it close enough?
Yep.
Right, okay. So the cling film method, okay, so this is not an after 9 session, this. It's called the cling film method, and we're using it for buttercream. If you've got any other ideas, you can message me privately and tell me what they are, but at the moment this one's just for buttercream. So I hate cling film, crikey. You always get in a mess with it. So let me just see if I can get the ends off first properly. There it is, it's coming. So I'm showing you this because a lot of people do like it this way when they're toning their bags. And the secret to this is not to make too much. I had a lady in class last summer, and she made a big giant one of these, and it was just too much. So that's just, sorry, let me get that off there. So what we're going to do for the cling film method is, so I'm only showing you on this cake board as a way of showing you. This isn't the way you do it, it's just so it's the right height for the camera, okay? So when we do the cling film method, let's use some of the green first. So you can use any colour that you want, okay? So my green's got a bit of red in it.
Do we stock those turntables?
We don't. This one is a fabulous turntable, okay? I will tell you it's expensive, it's £70. It's made by a Tico, and I think the reason it's dear is because it's coming from America and the shipping costs are expensive. I think that's what it is really. If you live in America, I've noticed when the Americans are decorating, they've all got one of these. But here we haven't got them here in the UK, but you can buy them on Amazon UK, and it's a Tico turntable. It's solid, it's fabulous, it's lovely. So what we're going to do now is, this is our cling film method. So we're just going to make a square. Now you can pipe this on if you want to, or you can just slap it on like this. So make yourself a nice long oblong, yeah, that's one colour. And then we're going to, let me mix this in. Okay, so then we're going to slap on our second colour. Slap on, put on, whatever way you want to describe how you put it on. I really don't mind. I probably got my mate Gillian laughing because we just say it as we do. Is Gillian here tonight watching?
I haven't seen her, no.
Have we not seen her tonight? I think we cut from the same cloth, Gillian and I. We don't use all the posh words. So we're just pushing this on. If Gillian's here, give us a shout out. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it intermingles. So we'll just put the second coat on. And then I'm going to put white in the middle. Now in the middle, I'm not going to take it all to the end. I'm just going to run it down the middle. Yeah. I'm just going to run it down the middle there. And this is great. This is a nice way for people who struggle to put the different colours in the bag. I find it very easy to do it holding it in my hand, but you can use a cup or you can do it this way. Okay, then Are we still in the angle, John? So we're going to, oh, we're up there, are we?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to push this over to that side, yeah? So we're going to go over, so we're just going to roll it over there, okay? And you're going to see now that it's joined together. So let me just see that. So can you see how it's joined together? It's like a sausage, yeah? And then we're just going to take the rest of the cling film round and pull it round so it's nice and tight. And then we're going to tie the two ends, yeah? So tie the two ends. So you've got this nice sausage effect. So you could make a load of these up, make all your buttercream up, make a load of these up, okay? And what we'll do is we'll use the baby nozzles for these. So I've got one ready here. We're going to cut the end off. So we've got to cut the end off, okay? Cut it off there. Let's get that out of the way. We've got our baby nozzle, mini nozzle, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to drop this. Which camera are we on, John? Are we still at the top? We're over here. Okay. So we're just going to stick that in there. Now don't push this all the way in there because the cling film will go to the bottom and could end up blocking your flower at the end. So all we're doing now is we're just going to do this, yeah? So I've sat it there and I'm going to squeeze it. And let me just squeeze some into this dish a minute so I can see that it is flowing out. And there, it's flowing out nicely, yeah? So let's get myself a cupcake. Let's crumb coat it. So, we any more questions, John, or is everybody just enjoying everything?
No, nothing at the moment.
So, you know, I never know whether it's good when you're not saying anything, because that means you're watching it, or whether you're bored. I'd like to think that you're all quite happy watching everything. So, do feel free to send me a love heart or a like just to let me know that you're here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, this is one of the mini nozzles and we've used the cling film method. So what we're going to do here now is we're just going to put a few of these on, so it's the same thing. Squeeze, form a base, and you're off. 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 And you find that I don't sort of say it to myself, but I do say it in my mind. And the baby nozzles, I think you can probably get about 12 little flowers, 10 to 12, depending how you want to squash them in. I'm not going to squash them all in. I'm leaving some little gaps here. So are they in view of the camera, John? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maria, you're not in the way, are you? No. Okay. So there you go. They're nice pastel colours. And then we've got our leaf tip. Yeah. So we're going to come back to the leaf. And then we're just going to put some nice leaves in here. And then we'll put the odd random one around. I think there. So what do we think of that? Are we happy with that? It's pretty. Isn't it pretty how the colours come out? They look really nice, I think. Really nice and soft. I think, you know, sometimes you can get too garish with your colours. I do prefer the pastels, if I'm really honest. But, you know, I hope you like that one. What do you think? Yeah? Sometimes people don't like a lot of buttercream. So if you don't like a lot of buttercream, so let's say that's your cake, what you could do is you could crumb coat the whole of your cake. Yeah, so we put a nice thin layer all the way round. So you could do that all the way round. And then what you could do then is just have 3 small flowers. So 1, 2, 3. Make it a very simple design. Let's get our leaf. 1, 2, So you can make it very simple for those people who are not buttercream mad. So do that, yeah. So we've got that. Then the other nozzles that you wanted me to use is, let's use the Mrs. Whippy. This is the small Mrs. Whippy. And we've got the Viennetta here as well. And then I think that we're done. I think we've come to an end. Let me just see. Pardon?
The heart.
Oh, the heart. Well done, Maria. Well done. Okay, let me find the heart. So, guys, let me just move these over here. So let's just move that over there a minute. Let me show you this little box of tricks here. So, the love heart. So, okay, these are not all the nozzles that we've got, but they're all the ones that we have the patents for. Okay, so here we go. Before you ask me about this box, do I think this box is a good idea? I had it to take to the cake shows, if I'm honest, because people want to see the nozzles, okay? But do I think it's a good idea? No, because it's, you know, they do move around, okay? But in fairness, it is a nice way to keep them all nice and tidy, okay? And I'm just going to get out this love heart one here. So let's do this one. And we've got this one as well. I can't remember the name. Somebody will have to go and have a look. I think one's called Valentine and one's called Love. I just can't remember which one's which. So let's do those for you. And then do a Mrs. Whippy and then we're done. So, my piping bag, okay. So we had this one in the piping bag before. Let's pull this out. Put that over there. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to make a red up now. So I'm just going to, basically, I'm just going to cut this nozzle off here. Just to save a bit of time. And I'm just going to squeeze it all into there. Yeah. And to be fair, that was a mock-up because it's got the wrong nozzle in. Bloody hell, Carol, start again. Right, that was a dumb thing to do. Hang on, girls, you can tell it's getting late, can't you? It would have been a good idea if I put the right nozzle in. Let's flick that out. Let's flick that out. See, the pleasure of seeing it all live, you see all the mistakes I make as well. So where is the one that I wanted to take the nozzle out of? Actually, you know what, let's just start with the cleaning bag, it's going to be easier. Are you all laughing? Feel free to laugh. I really don't mind. So let's cut the nozzle. So there's the nozzle. There's the love heart. Yep. Let's put this burgundy colour in. So let me just mix it in. Sorry guys, I'm just utilising all the buttercream that we've got here. Reusing it all. So let me just mix that in there. And this is the thing when you go live. When you're not live, you know, you can have it all nice and neat. You can cut, edit, swap things around, and it all flows nicely. But when we're going live, we've just got to go with it. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my bag cut. I'm going to put the burgundy colour in. Obviously for Valentine's Days you're going to want to do it in a nice bright vibrant red. And we've got the pillar box red and the Christmas red. We've got Christmas red in the gels, and in the Colour Splash Dust we've got the pillar box red. Yeah. So there you go. So we've got that. Okay, so there we go. So just pass us that one of those cupcakes, Maria. Let's get some white buttercream on. Any comments, Sean? No. So let me just tell you what's coming up now. On Thursday we'll be going live again. And on Thursday, Laura's going to come and join you. So you regulars who know my daughter Laura, she has agreed to come once a month, okay? So for those of you who want to make marshmallows, make sure you're watching our Facebook Live on Thursday. So that's 11 o'clock Thursday morning. We're going to be making marshmallows with the sugar and crumbs flavoured icing sugar. She's going to make you a raspberry ripple and a chocolate mint, yeah? Marshmallows. So what we're going to do now is, so you've got your nozzle, let's clean the tip. I haven't done a heart for ages, so I just know that this could possibly go all wrong. Now, if you're going to put this round a cake, make sure you've got your heart the right way round if you're going to stamp it all over. If you're just going to put one on a cupcake, okay, then you just need to sit it into the middle, you squeeze, you pull up, you relax, and you let go, and you get your heart shape. And that's all you do. You can do it as low or as high as you want. Let me just take that off again. And let's just do that again, because I wasn't quite happy with that one, if I'm honest. Let's just do that way. I actually probably squeezed that one just a little bit too tight. I felt it was a bit fat, so let me clean my nozzle. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sit the nozzle on the cake. We're going to squeeze up, relax, and rub. There you go. There's more definition in it. Can you see that? What I did the first time, I should have probably showed it you, but I squeezed it too hard and it made it fat and joined together. So there's your heart there. Now what I would do here as well is get some of the sprinkles, and what you could do is you could pop a love heart pearl on the bottom if you wanted to, just to finish it off so that you know. And you could probably put a couple of other sprinkles. Let's just do that on there, isn't it? While your buttercream's wet, you could probably just sprinkle a couple of other sprinkles on as well. My buttercream's started to dry already, just to give it a bit of an effect if you wanted to, for your love heart. Or you could put 2 love hearts on the same cupcake if you wanted to. And I can't remember what the name of this one is, but if you look down, well, this nozzle is the number. This one is 225, and the other one is, which is 229. I think this one is called Valentine, and this one is called Love. I'm sure it is. So I don't know whether you like that, guys. I think it's quite pretty. How will Laura design this one? What do you think? Do you like it? Does it come out okay? Probably looks nice if you put some of that blingy glitter on as well. So let's see where we are, guys. So this is what we've made tonight. So let's see if we can get it all on the board here. My messy work. So can you imagine anybody who doesn't know me now, they'll be wondering what the hell have I created here. So what we've created now is we've done the dome cake. We've done the little cuppy cupcake. So let's just make a bit of space here and see if we can, so that things don't fall off. So we've done the little cupcake. We've got Love. We've done this one here, which has got more of the minis on. And we've done the big cupcake there, the big giant cupcake. If you were doing a wedding, what I would say you should do is do a selection of big ones, small ones, and these. And then they look really nice then when you're doing a wedding selection, so that not everybody gets the same one. So guys, that's me done for tonight. Is there anything else you want to ask? Oh, I did say I would do Mrs. Whippy, didn't I? Let me just get that, the ruffles. Let me just get Mrs. Whippy. This one? Out of the way. Oh, this is the baby one, isn't it? Let me see. It's looking for the big one. Let's use the baby one and then we're finished. Is there any more comments, Sean?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So, the Mrs. Whippy, I'm going to use the cling film, what we've got left in the cling film. So I'm just going to pull that cling film. Which camera are we on? This one. So I'm just going to pull that out. so that we can use this. Okay, we've got the rest of this back. And then I'm going to pop it in a piping bag and use the Mrs. Whippy. So let me just find the piping bags. Now, my intention tonight was to be totally organised and have no mess. And as you can see, that plan didn't work, did it? So it's everywhere. But that's the thing when you are live, when you are at home and you can have put everything out of the way. Like how, you know, I'd normally be running backwards and forwards to the sink. So for this nozzle here, you see these slits go down the side, they're just not on the top. Okay, so make sure you cut the bag so you're just past the slits. Okay, and then we're going to drop this one in the middle. Yeah, so we're just going to drop that in. Well, that's probably just enough to get maybe 2 Mrs. Whippies. So this is the baby one. But what I'm going to do is just show you. So you just need a little bit of buttercream in the centre. Yeah. Let me wipe my hands, got buttercream all over my hands. So in the centre. And then we're here. Now you must sit this nozzle at, is that 90? Yeah, so that's 90. So you sit it, you squeeze, 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 stop squeezing and pull off. There you go. So did you like that? So what you do is you just keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing till you get to your desired height, stop squeezing and pull off. And when you stop squeezing, you can either pull off in one go or you can just twist it off if you wanted to. No hole in the middle or anything like that. And then that gives you that nice ripple effect. You could put a strawberry in there, a Ferrero Rocher, a Big Pearl, a Malteser, whatever you want, or just leave it like that. I like it like that because of the different colours. It's nice to put a bit of glitter on there as well, a bit of bling, okay? So we'll stick that on our cupcake as well. And then that's me done, ladies. I think I've done everything. I think I've covered everything. Anything you want to ask? Let's hope this lot doesn't fall off, eh? Are we still on this camera, John? Oh, we're on the top. Okay, so can you see everything? Can I swing it round slowly?
Yeah, slowly.
Right, guys, so that's the end of our session. We've been 2 hours now. In fact, we've gone over 2 hours, actually. So thank you for joining me. Carol here at Sugar and Crumbs, Nifty Nozzles. Are we still on the top camera, John?
No, here.
Oh, we're here. Be nice to know where we are. So thank you for joining me. We're Carol and John at Nifty Nozzles and Maria as well. So it's Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles. This will go onto YouTube tomorrow, round about 11, 12 o'clock. If you want to watch it again then, you can watch it as many times as you want. Please subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay. It doesn't cost you any money. There's no secret money that you're ticking away paying. All it means is you can give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We don't like those thumbs down. We want those thumbs up, okay? Give us a like on our Facebook page. If you like tonight's session, please like the session. So when we finish the session tonight, please like it. Please share it with as many friends as you can. I can only get my name out there if you share me, okay? So, you know, I've gone into a lot of work tonight. I've given you a lot of free tips. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as a reward, if you can share me, I would be, not share me, you can share my page, I would be truly, truly grateful. And as I say, the sale is on. It finishes on Sunday night at midnight. Get your nozzles, some of them are half price while you can, your colour splash, your dust. I put cupcake boxes in as well. I know some of them are Christmas ones, but you know what, they're in the sale, get rid of those. And I tell you what we have got, we've got these fabulous display boxes as well, and they've gone in the sale. So they were done with the baby nozzles, the minis, okay, they're in the sale, the mini nozzles, 9 for $18.99 I think they are. or $19.99, I can't remember, they're in the sale. But these cupcake boxes are great, okay, and they're great if you want to give them away as a gift for somebody. So those are in the sale. Nordic Ware is in the sale. So go over to the clearance box, you know what, clear us out of everything, because as I say, John and I want to bring in a lot more stock, and we can only bring that in if we get rid of all this stuff. So grab yourself a bargain while you can, and I hope that I'm going to see you on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock with our Laura. So it'll be me, Laura, Maria, John and baby Harrison, because I'm holding the baby, while Laura makes you raspberry ripple marshmallows and chocolate mint marshmallows, and let me tell you, they are to die for. I do know some of you have made those and you absolutely love them. They're so easy to make. So that's a goodbye from me for now, okay, and I will see you on Thursday, providing there's no emergency questions. Any quick questions before we go? Right, we're going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.